Well, it looks like the Mudryk to Arsenal transfer is coming to an end. This transfer has costed Arsenal a lot. They've lost João Felix to Chelsea. They have now lost Danilo. They are nearly losing Tielemans and very many other players that Arsenal has been chasing in this January transfer window because they want to get it done and dusted before they move on to the next transfer. But it looks like it's coming to an end. The Modric transfer saga is really coming to a halt because, or an end, the sporting director of Arsenal, Edu, and the negotiators of Arsenal have traveled, all boarded a plane to Poland, where the officials of Shakhtar Donetsk are. Welcome to Rokani Media Football. How are you guys? Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, depending on where you're watching us from. Today is really a very huge day that we are going to see to it that we bring you loads and lots of stories that are concerning Modric, the North London derby that's happening tomorrow, and very many other stories in there for you. The deal of Danilo to Arsenal has been totally hijacked. So here we go, pronounced by Fabrizio Romano. I'm going to let you know where this player has decided to go and play his next football at after Arsenal delayed to go on and really get him from Palmeiras in there. And obviously, the game of Arsenal that has been scheduled on the 28th of January between them and Man City has been shifted to another date. I'm going to let you know about that date. So guys, don't hesitate to smash the black button that has the word subscribe. Where do you find it? Lower right bottom corner. That's where you find it. After smashing it, hit the notification bell that will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel called Rokani Media Football. And guys, I would like to thank you. Because we've hit 10,000 subscribers, and continue subscribing, and let's reciprocate the love, because that's the way to go. When you spread love by subscribing, I'll spread love back to you by giving you the stories that really make your day. Not so? So guys, smash the like button, guys. And I'm liking the way you guys smash the like button. I thought that you could smash only to 200, but some videos hit 500, and let's smash it to 1000, because this is the deal that most of you have been eagerly waiting for. It's on the brink of coming to its accomplishment, because Edu has really gone ahead and really negotiate the last details of the deal down in Poland. Let's get into this. It has started by a reporter or a journalist known as Nick Ames, coming in from Ukraine. He's telling us that the saga of Arsenal and Mudryk is coming to an end. He's elaborating more that Arsenal are closing in on a deal to sign Modric from Shakhtar Donetsk for an eventual fee of up to £80 million, meaning their long pursuit of the player is on the verge of a successful conclusion. So those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 last words, on the verge of successful conclusion, meaning that it's really in the direct path. And to me, I've always told you that when that bid that Fabrizio Romano confirmed us of 70 million euros plus 25 million euros of add-ons, I believe it can't fail. It can't fail, because Shakhtar stood their ground. After standing their ground, Arsenal got to know that if we want to get the player, that is the match we are supposed to pay. And I think I like clubs like Shakhtar, because this has been their reputation. This has been their trademark. This has been their trump card. They've never bought down for less. Never do they. If they want that amount of money, is the amount of money they want to sign from the player, because they've sold very many players outside Ukraine very expensively. And in this period, when they are really having problems concerning their finances, because their country where they used to base and play the game of football is really war-tagged. It's really war-torn. You don't expect them to be having money. So the only jewel they have in their crown, known as Modric, should be used for them to get them finances that are going to finance their team throughout the season, and maybe bring in other signings at the club. And that's why this team was really adamant on the 100 million euros. But Arsenal have made an offer of 95 million euros, 70 million euros up front. That is like 62 million pounds up front, and the rest of the 16 million pounds will come in later. Those are the 25 million pounds of add-on. So I believe it's moving the direct direction. And when you see people in Ukraine coming out and really telling us that this deal is really nearing on the verge of a successful conclusion, you get to know that it's really great. Because I've seen United today, they've unveiled a player known as Wout Weghorst. You know him very well, scored a brace against Argentina. But when his story was on the verge of a successful conclusion, sources from Turkey were the ones getting us the details, the nitty-gritties, that this is happening, he has missed training, he's packing his things, he's flying to Manchester, you get? And when you see most journalists from the country where a person, not a player, hails from, or was born and bred from, and that's where his club plays, giving us details like this, it sends a message directly into your medulla oblongata that the deal is really nearing a completion. And this is what every Arsenal fan would like to hear, that this deal is coming to a successful conclusion. So guys, warm up, start to warm up your hands, because you need to get ready for this deal. If I told you you're not ready for it, then I don't know in which country you are, because you need to come in the vicinity of believers that this deal is coming to happening anytime from now. And we've been told by Sports Arena, you know, it's the leading tab on. It's the leading news outlet in Ukraine. They've been so much concrete. They've been so much accurate onto this deal of Mykhailo Modric to Arsenal. They've told us that Arsenal's sporting director Edu Gaspar went to Warsaw, Poland, to meet with the Shakhtar Donetsk management to seal the deal of winger Mykhailo Modric. That is Sports Arena via Ukraine. Very huge story, and you know what it means. Edu is a man who is really good at negotiating business, and when he really holds himself on the plane to go to Poland, you know it's going to get done, because most of the times they've been communicating on Zoom, phone calls, emails, faxes, and so on and so forth. That's it. But this time round, he has said, after making that bid, and I have to travel to go to that side. What does it mean? For the first bid, he never traveled to Poland. For the second bid, he never traveled. That means it was not positive. There was no positivity that he was getting, or positive response he was getting from Shakhtar Donetsk. But what has made him board the plane is the positive response is getting in from Ukraine. This is in the glass that everyone can see it. I'm talking about glasses that are really transparent. It's too clear that you can easily know how far this deal has reached, because this time round, after the third bid has been made, Edu had to fly from London to Poland to get this deal done and dusted. So what does that show you? That deal is happening. That deal is happening. Not so? That is what is coming to you. And people ask themselves, but Ukraine is war-tagged. The players of Ukraine are training in Turkey. How come he's flying to Poland, not Turkey? Now, the players are training in Turkey. That's it. Even that's where they've been playing their games from, especially the games in the Champions League. And that's where they're going to play their UEFA Europa League games. But the management of Shakhtar Donetsk are in Poland. You get? They are in Poland. Like, let me give an example. Like, you see Arsenal. Arsenal plays its games at Emirates. But the offices of Arsenal are in London. You get? They are in London. And the players always train at London Conley. You get? So it's divided into three. Arsenal has offices in London. The stadium where they play their game of football is Emirates, and obviously their offices are at London Conley, the training ground, the hospital, and so on and so forth, the sports facilities. So here in this situation, when Ukraine is really war-torn and war-ragged, you don't expect them to be there. So they are in Poland, but the team is training down in Turkey. And you've seen those videos of Mykhailo Modric training relentlessly to see to it that he really makes himself one of the best players on the field of play. And I saw a video of him really carrying close to 150 kilograms. And I said, oh, the boy looks thin, you get, but his physicality is not a doubt. He's undoubted. He's really a very strong and physical player. His physical attributes are not doubted. That's why they've gone to pay that amount of money for him, and that is Arsenal, close to 100 million euros, 85 million pounds, close to the amount of money that Manchester United bought Antony. And obviously, Shakhtar Donetsk is really fulfilling its dream of selling a player in the vicinity price of Antony and Jack Grealish of City. Now, let's get to another story connecting to the flight of Edu to Poland. Again, Sports Arena in Ukraine have told us that on Thursday and Friday, Arsenal and Shakhtar were close to reaching an agreement after the Gunners submitted their third bid. After the Gunners submitted their third official bid. However, there are still disagreements between the clubs, but the parties are close to completing the deal. So, obviously, the disagreements are not on the initial fee or guaranteed fee of 70 million euros that Arsenal is going to pay there at once. That is accepted. The ground is settled for that. Now, the disagreements are coming in with the add-ons, because add-ons are really clauses that are indicated into the contract of a player. When he crosses to Arsenal and fulfills them, then a demarcated or an agreed fee of that clause is really paid. Like Arsenal, if Mudryk wins the Premier League with Arsenal, £5 million will cross from the account of Arsenal to the account of Shakhtar. If Arsenal plays in the Champions League, Shakhtar will get this amount of money. So I think those are the clauses that they're agreeing on, because some teams really try to put in hard clauses that will make them benefit, especially the teams that are really buying, to go ahead and inconvenience the teams that are really selling. So I think that's where the disagreements are coming in from. But I'm 100% sure this deal is really going to come to an end, because it's costing Arsenal a lot. It has costed Arsenal a lot. João Felix would have been an Arsenal player by now if at all this deal was done in the first week of January. He would have been an Arsenal player. He wouldn't have crossed to Shakhtar. But because Arsenal wanted to go ahead and first get this deal done and dusted, that's why they found themselves in a situation of really calling out the deal of João Felix to concentrate on the deal of Modric. Now, another deal that Arsenal have really gone ahead to lose is that of Danilo. Because of this deal, I can't 100% guarantee you that Arsenal were still 100% interested in the player, but there was interest registered, and Arsenal would have gone ahead to sign this player if at all they had accomplished this deal in time. And even when Nottingham went in and put there a bid for the player, Arsenal would have gone ahead and hijacked that deal, because they had already agreed personal terms with Danilo in the summer, but they couldn't stretch their hands to divide their hands into two to see to it that they complete two deals at once. The main deal is that of Modric. And obviously, we've been told by Fabrizio Romano that finally, a deal has been agreed between Nottingham Forest and Palmeiras for the former player that Arsenal really had interest in, known as Danilo. And Fabrizio Romano, in his own words, he has said, Danilo to Nottingham Forest, here we go. Deal signed a few minutes ago. Palmeiras, final fee around 20 million euros. Understand, Danilo will fly to England to undergo medical tests and sign long-term contract. Big one for Forest. Now, no Arsenal player would have loved to lose Danilo. You know why? See the fee. 20 million euros. 20 million euros is the fee that has been agreed for this guy to cross from Brazil to England, to play alongside a team called Nottingham. Arsenal had interest in Danilo. Danilo is really a very good player. And that's what I told you that's why I told you in is it the second video or the first video of the day, that Arsenal are really so much determined to get in Modric, and they are really using every skill. They are using every skill, every negotiation, every tool has been fronted on the wall to get Mudryk out of Shakhtar. The amount of money they've put out just shows you how good this player is and how much they like to sign the player at Arsenal, because that amount of money would have gotten Danilo. You get Danilo, you get Tielemans, and you get João Felix. Those three players, you add them into this current Arsenal team, Arsenal wins the trophy. Wins the trophy. If at all you saw how João Felix played yesterday against Fulham, it shows you that he would have been a very beneficial player for a club called Arsenal, because he plays well on all the flanks, right, left, and the center forward positions of the pitch. So what does that mean? They've really forwent a lot to get this deal. That's why he is on the plane to get this deal done and dusted, because they've seen themselves lose out on very many players at Arsenal, and obviously they don't want to lose out on any more, because the more the deal delays of Modric, the more Arsenal suffers. The earlier the deal gets done, the earlier Arsenal tackles other deals, because I don't believe Arsenal are going to sign only one player. That's it. They are going to bring in another player. I'm 100% sure. They must bring in a midfielder to see to it that Granit Xhaka is not overloaded. I believe he's a very good player, but I believe he is very overloaded. He is very, very, very overloaded. That is Granit Xhaka, and you need a Tielemans to come in and really offload that heavy load that he has on his shoulders, to it that he gets into the best positions of being fit and not really losing it out. But Danilo has been signed by Nottingham Forest. It's not good news to any Arsenal fan all over the world. It really haunts and it really hits deep to any Arsenal player, fan, but you had nothing to do. The priority was chosen. This is the piece. However much Arsenal is really having close to 3 pieces, missing the jigsaw of Mikel Arteta, he knows the main piece, and the main piece is Modric. Danilo might have been an extra piece. Tielemans might have been the third piece, but the first piece is always what Arteta goes for, and that is Modric is the missing piece in Mikel Arteta's jigsaw, and finally he's really going to get him after making that bid that is undeniable, and they're really discussing on what the add-ons are going to be like. Now, Man City went through to the 4th round of the FA Cup, and Arsenal beat Oxford on Monday by 3-0. Edin Ketia scoring a brace, and El Nini breaking the dreadlock in the 63rd minute. But their fixture of Arsenal and Man City that's going to be played at Etihad was first scheduled on the 28th of January, and we all knew that the game of football was going to happen on that date. But that game has been shifted. It has been shifted by the FA, and now a new date has been communicated, and we confirm to you here onto the Rokani Media Football that, ladies and gentlemen, don't expect that game to feature on the 28th. It has been changed and shifted to the 27th of January, and we've been told that Arsenal will face Man City away in the FA Cup 4th round on Friday, January 27th, with kickoff at 8 p.m. live on ITV. That's it. So that is it for Arsenal. That's going to be another big game. Remember, after playing that game, they'll play more 3 games, then they play Man City again. So it shows you that they are going to play Man City in a vicinity of like 2 weeks. They're going to play it twice. And if you're an Arsenal fan, what do you choose? Winning the FA Cup tie and going to the 5th round of the FA Cup, or you lose the FA Cup and you win the Premier League games that you have with City, or you want to win all of them. But when you look at the manager of Mikel Arteta, when you look at the statement of Mikel Arteta after them beating Oxford, when he was asked about the draw with Man City, he said, we have to go there and win. The mentality of Mikel Arteta is win, 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 win. But the positivity of all this is simple. Arsenal would have already brought in Modric, and I believe at the 28th, they would have brought in 1 or 2 more players after Modric. So you might find Arsenal a more different side altogether, and they know that if at all they are to go and stretch themselves into the vicinity of winning these trophies, they need to add in more quality onto the bench, because every time you get off the first teamers from the bench, Arsenal looks really every time you get off the first teamers from the starting 11 and you go to the bench, Arsenal really looks thin. It's really a very huge drop off every time you get off like Emily Smith Rowe and get in another player like Reece Nelson. It's really a huge drop off. So Arsenal needs to cater for that, and they've gone ahead to cater for that. So Arsenal is trying to bring in more players, but Mudryk is really the in thing that they're all targeting. Thank you guys for watching in through. Your reactions to Eddie flying to Poland to complete Mudryk deal are welcome in the comment section below. What do you think about Arsenal missing out on a player called Danilo, because you guys have been chasing for him since the summer, however much Arsenal had cooled its interest, but I believe if at all this Modric deal was done in time, they would have really gotten him after getting Modric. So what are your thoughts about Danilo going to Nottingham Forest? And secondly, what are your thoughts about the fixture of Arsenal and Man City shifted from 28th to the 27th of January? Rokani David is my name. Good morning. I sign out for now. See you later. I think I'm going to be returning with the match preview of Arsenal versus Tottenham Hotspur, because it's really huge. It's really huge that everyone needs to go ahead and really know and to know about it. Secondly, you'll have to go ahead and really tell me what to think about this game of football as I come in through with a very vigorous analysis. Guys, this game is really hot. To give you a snippet, Arsenal has not won at White Hart Lane and the new White Hart Lane stadiums for the last 9 years. Arsenal have not won a game. Are you getting what I'm getting? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Guys, may the Almighty God bless you abundantly. Rokani David remains my name. Rokani Media Football is the YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you, guys. I cover you all in the precious blood of Jesus Christ. I'm out. Bye-bye.